Read the words slow. Look who they were written to. Last days, end of the age, standing at the door. Not the end of the planet, end of that age.
Yeah, Hebrews said in these last days, God spoke through the Son. Yeah, not about a time far off, but the days they were living in done. Paul told the church in Corinth, ends of the ages came. Not the people in the future, but the ones he knew by name. Time statements all through the letters, plain if you read them right. Not coded for another 1,000, they were talking about the life. Old covenant grown, weak already, now to fade away. Hebrews said it loud and clear, it was passing in the day.
End of that age, not the end of the earth. End of that age, time fulfilled its word. Every line they wrote was for the ones back then. Last days of the old, new day stepping in.
Yeah, James said keep your heart steady. Yeah, coming of the Lord is near. Yeah, judge is standing at the doorway, not far off. He's here. Peter told the scattered people, end of all is at hand. Not the end of all creation, end of that command. Jesus on the Mount of Olives looking at the temple stone, said this generation standing near will see the shaken throne. Not one stone left on another, everywhere we stand. Heaven and earth will pass away just like he had planned. Yeah.
End of that age, not the end of the earth, not the end of the earth. End of that age, time fulfilled its word, time fulfilled its word. Every warning written to the ones back then. Last days of the old, new day stepping in.
Law and prophets reaching fullness, everything complete. Shadow giving way to substance, promise now made me. City falling, temple burning, just like he declared. Not the end of God's creation, but the end of what was there. We receiving the kingdom that cannot be shaken. Fire of that judgment came, just like it was spoken. If you read the words in context, you can see the plan. Last days of that covenant world fell in that lifespan. Not the end of the story,
not the end of time, end of the age of Moses crossing the final line. Every letter said and near, every warning plain. And the kingdom that was promised is the one that still remains. End of that age, not the end of the earth. End of that age, God fulfilled his word. Every promise standing just the way he said. Last days of the old world, new covenant instead. End of that age, end of that age, end of that age.